tweak of what they did before. For example, if I just tweak this a little bit, if I tweak this, I'll do better, and they're not getting that, that big jump that they want.
Right.
And the reason is they're.
So how do you make an entrepreneur accountable? Do you share those goals with their friends, business partners, with their wife? What would be the best way for those entrepreneurs? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. You guys are watching and listening to TechEDTV podcast with Dr. Edwin Hernandez. And today we have a great guest, Bimal Shaw, is coming to the EGLAVATOR to share some of his wisdom to those entrepreneurs out there that want to learn how to be a better pioneer, a better entrepreneur, and how to establish that business that you always wanted, your dream, and make it come true. How are you? Good morning, Bimal.
Thank you for having me here, Dr. Edwin. It's always a great pleasure. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the listeners, and looking forward to it.
Yes, one of the things that entrepreneurs usually miss, and I think it's something that we discussed yesterday with Mr. Dan Gudima and during the TGI Fridays, was that planning. Thinking.
Yes.
What's the thinking tool? How does it help an entrepreneur?
So thinking tools, this is the foundation of the academy, Pioneers Academy that we're doing. And it's all thinking tools. And all the success that we want, if you take your two fingers and put it between your two heads, all the success is right there. We need to know how to extract it and think in the right direction. So I have created a lot of thinking tools, more than 200. And, you can use these tools for different reasons. So imagine you have like a tool belt, toolbox, and a tool shed. So all these tools are like one page, kind of tools or digital tools that you use and that ask questions to help them think in the right direction.
Yes, one thing is that is kind of important as well that you have when you have this tool set is that you sometimes don't have a particular goal in mind. Is that right? Like, what's the right direction? How do an entrepreneur sets that goal? And how do you measure with your tools, Bimal?
So the very first stage what we do, and that's also, if you look at all these books, that's like a book series. And the first stage is building that vision, the big vision. So we have all the way going for a 25-year vision, 5-year moonshot, 3-year goal, and then achieving that 3-year goal in 1 year, and then take 90-day leaps and weekly sprints. So my whole system is, jump every quarter, run every week. And we plan each leap, every quarter, no matter how you feel at the end of the quarter is over, you have to plan for another leap. So that's the way it is, and we structure that, and there's proper system, software tracking, accountability, and then you have these tools within each one of these goals that you're outlined, the projects, depending on those goals, and you use those specific tools. So that I have tools for building all of these vision, and sometimes when you have to go build a business plan, for example, when you have this goal and you have the moonshot, you want to build a business plan. A lot of the business plans that I've seen, they talk about two things that does not really attract the investor or the funder or the person who's providing a debt funding as well, is they talk about the great potential and how great their product is. That is not as of interest of how you're going to get there. How are you going to make the money, that you plan to make? Where's going to be your first target and how you're going to achieve that? That's the most interest of anybody,
Correct. And usually what happens is that entrepreneurs, sometimes, although they have certain high-level direction, the thinking tools enable them to make those leaps, the micro direction. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, what do you want to be?" I want to be a millionaire. I want to be like Elon Musk. Yeah, but Elon Musk was not built in a day, right?
Exactly.
Like Rome was built in a day. So then, basically, entrepreneurs, when they have this thinking clearly mentality, would you say that what's the best practice for an entrepreneur? Create those pictures and put them in the fridge, put them in your door, put them in your car, so then you have clear goals, or what would be like the feedback for that?
Ideas, when you put everything on the wall as your dream idea and you put a lot of things on the vision board, they kind of die because they're there in the vision and you're like, okay, I put them out there. But what you should put is a roadmap. So what I have on my, I have a dry erase wall with the same paint, and I have all this vision, the 25-year vision, the 5-year moonshot, the 3-year goal, the 1 year, the 90-day leap, the weekly sprint, and the daily victories. So all of this is connected, and I look at it on a daily basis and see, am I doing the next thing that's going to help me all the way long term? And how is this going to impact? Okay, it's going to impact, go for it, go do it. And that doesn't take a lot of thinking if you have it all connected. It can take 10 seconds, it can take 5 seconds, 2 seconds, and and you go to work.
It's a constant battle, right, between like the procrastinators. They're like there, it's like, oh yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. And they write it down, everything looks good on paper, but next week, the same thing is on the board.
Exactly. So which is why the sprints that I've created are proactive in nature. For example, the weekly sprint is a tool that I've created, and it has a due date for a due date, meaning that there is a review date, and then you actually review, are you on track to achieve the goal by the date that you said that you're going to achieve, or the outcome or the task, and if what are the obstacles that you're facing, and how are you going to overcome those. So it's an actual proactive tool that eliminates procrastination from many of the outcomes.
And one more thing is, how do you make an entrepreneur accountable? Do you share, like, they share those goals with their friends, business partners, with their wife? What would be the best way for those entrepreneurs to achieve that?
So ideally, we're building an environment in the academy which allows you to hold other partners accountable and build a cohort. So that is one. The second is, you have a mentor. And mentors are very good because you want to pick someone in your own business who's been very successful and allows you to talk. Because many times if you talk to friends, they'll be nice to you, but you will not you will not get good advice.
Buy me dinner and I'll tell you whatever you want. You're doing amazing. Where's my dinner?
Including family. You may get opinion, but the real opinions are gonna come from actual customers, actual people who are gonna. And the best feedback they're gonna give you is, listen, this is good, but if you were to change this a little bit, if you were to tweak this a little bit and change it or do it this way, I may buy from you, or I may, it is something that is appealing. That is the foundation. That is the feedback that you need. So accountability is done in several ways. I would say a mentor, your cohort of similar entrepreneurs. So you definitely want to connect with those type of people, and you want to be in a room people full that are smarter than you.
Of course. And one of the things we have is on April 25th, we're going to have like the pitch night. But also we call it pitch night and checkpoint night.
Right.
Because that's when we're going to bring all the entrepreneurs that came before and said, I'm going to build this and that. Okay, where are you? Did you do anything, or you're stuck where you are? And that's the next topic of conversation when you get to Plateau, right? Like, what happened with those businesses? Because it could happen to procrastination. Maybe you just what's the main reason businesses plateau? Let's go.
So the plateau happens because I would say it's majority mindset, because one of the things is that, business owners, when they're stuck, they're kind of doing the same things, or they're doing a little bit of tweak of what they did before. For example, if I just tweak this a little bit, if I tweak this, I'll do better, and they're not getting that, that big jump that they want.
Right.
And the reason is they're not getting this because they're not thinking long term. They're not thinking far ahead. They're not thinking, what are others that are doing that's completely gonna, take the whole thing apart, and it's going to be completely different from where it is today. So when you're thinking and when your mindset is like, I want to completely transform, when you have to think from, previously, I think you probably know this book, which is called The Commodity Economy, The Experience Economy, and The Transformation Economy.
Correct.
Right. So we need to live in a transformation economy.
Okay.
And if you want to break that plateau, you need to be thinking transformation. And transformation means before, after, right? Before you were this, after you're that. So when you're thinking transformation, how can I transform? How can I go so much farther? You will see that, what you're currently doing needs to be completely scrapped or deleted. Multiplication happens by subtraction, not by addition.
Well, that's a big lesson for all of us, because I think most of us keep adding more stuff, and then why not advancing? Maybe you need to remove some of those loads, and then you will be advancing, because now you're focusing more laser focus. So what's the number one tool then for this thinking tools that you have that business should use?
So, I mean, on a day-to-day basis,
Yes.
I would say the 90-day leap and the weekly sprints are very, very effective because, you look at those and once you've connected all your goals and your vision, you're laser focused on, what you need to accomplish this week, today, and then you're going to see how is this going to impact for the quarter and how are you achieving your goals that you're set for this quarter. And the goals that you're set, are they in all the different areas that you want to make progress, you want to make advancement, and who's going to do it. So and you need teams. You can't do this alone. And that's another reason for Plateau is not enough delegation or not having the right team, the right people.
Team formation, right? That's one of the problems we have an entrepreneur. Like have one entrepreneur right now. He's doing very well with a lot of customers, but his business is Plateau because he wants to control everything.
Right.
Absolutely everything. And in fact, I'm a little bit upset with him. Well, disappointed because he had a major contract, and because he was not able to delegate, and in fact, let's give this to this person, and he declined. He said, no, this is my project. I found the customer. I want to close it myself. Yeah, but you're closing 50 things more. So then like that thing that is high priority, you're not taking care of. And that's what basically when it comes down to like team formation, right? What would be the thing that I think we discussed with Scott Kogan and with Jordan yesterday about the delegation and trust. How do an entrepreneur deal with the trust to someone else that is like just met? How do you develop the trust to assign this big customer, this big client, so they can handle, so you can have this strategy, divide and conquer, to be fulfilled?
So I have the first thing is you have to hire the right people, right? And you have to, in order for the trust to develop, you have to have the right people in the right seats,
Okay.
And that trust, and I have developed a tool. It's called the My Dream Employee, bit.ly/My Dream Employee. You go there, you actually build your dream come true employee profile. That if I had this person in my life, and you don't give a title, you give a name, and you build the whole. I go through like more than 130 questions. So
Okay.
It goes very deep. I know one client day before yesterday, he said, Bimal, I have spent the largest amount of time building an employee profile. It was like 5 hours, but it was so good that I know exactly now who I want in my company.
But tell me one thing in this world of entrepreneurship, how do you differentiate hiring an employee and finding a co-founder? Like what would be your advice to determine that, okay, this guy is an employee, he's great, I'll pay him a salary. This guy is my co-founder.
So the co-founder, the push-pull, I don't know if you heard about the push-pull strategy. Like the push-pull strategy, meaning that if I were to sell my company for X amount, would you buy it? 60%. Let's say you go a little higher than, your share. And the pull is, is that person willing to pay? If there is some synchronization between the two, that means there is, the co-founder does exist. But if there's no synchronization, if that person wouldn't want, let's say if we both are partners, okay, and if I wanted to sell my company to you and you are willing to buy for a specific price, but there's a difference of opinion in price, it's okay. But if there is you're not willing to buy my share and I'm not willing to buy your share, then there's a problem.
Got it. We may need to have a separate podcast just about that, because that's a whole subject on its own. And I just wanted to share a little bit of good news about Bimal and his family. I don't know if you want to share, but like your daughter has been doing very well, and now your other daughter that's going to work in her dream job, I believe.
Yeah.
And the other daughter is going to college soon. So those are big accomplishments for any parent. So you want to share a little bit of that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's great because, about business is we can all focus on business, but it always needs to have balance. And a lot of people say, when you draw that big circle, the business and personal is a smaller circle. It's actually the opposite. The personal is the big and the business is the small. And it's very important that your personal life and your business lives are aligned together. So I always share my dreams with my kids and make them, aspire for big dreams and big goals. And my bigger daughter now has found her dream job in smart city, sustainable transportation, the company that she wanted to work for. And it's actually a good paying job also for somebody who graduates as a bachelor's and she wants to do her master's as well. And the younger one is now wanting to go in public policy and all that. So I'm guiding them and, focusing on helping them get what they want. And that's the most important thing.
And the reason I want to highlight that is because a lot of entrepreneurs sometimes destroy their families because they dedicate all their time to the business. But that's because they don't have the tools, right? They don't have a thinking tool clearly. I did not include as part of the thinking tool an item for family.
So what I do for entrepreneurs, and this is a great point because, the tool belt, for example, it's things that you carry every day, like your laptop, your things that you need on a day-to-day operation. So I have tools that go in the tool belt. One of the tools is the weekly sprint. You need to have that tool every single day. You're looking at it, and the 90-day leap. So there are specific tools that you use in your tool belt. Then you have toolbox. Whenever you have a problem, you need delegation. You need to find an employee. I have a tool for that. So you pull out specific tools from your box, and you have a problem, like you have a lot of hardware here.
Right.
If there is a problem with, you take your screw and you unscrew and you fix something and you do that. But you need that screwdriver by your side all the time.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. If you don't have the right tool set, you as an entrepreneur are going to lose a lot of focus.
Right.
And in some cases, worst case scenario, unfortunately, you may have to even bankrupt.
Right.
Because you didn't have the right focus. You didn't have the right use of capital, the right use of teams. You chose bad team employees. You chose bad team members. And then you end up destroying your dream.
Right, and also decisions. Decisions are key because these tools actually help you make the right decisions based on principles. I mean, if you look at Warren Buffett, Warren Buffett is like, Elon Musk had a comment on Twitter recently that if Warren Buffett would only take 1 hour to do Janet Yellen's job.
yeah.
Right. So it's the wisdom that, and if you look at Warren Buffett, his decisions are based on sound principles. When he looks at companies, he looks at partnering with companies. If I were to partner with this company for the next 25 years, is this a company that I would want to continue, that long and that way? Then he is willing to invest in it and continue to invest in it. He's not the guy who would just, put money in and just, try to time. He's not the person with time. He's more like long term and hold.
Exactly.
And that's what he's realized. And that's the kind of, what we need to do as well is when we're thinking is your decision should not be on greed, should not be on money. It should be about the impact. It should be about what you're going to bring to the table. And when you think long term and do the right things, you will not fail.
Great. And one more thing, like now that we're discussing right things and good things and happy things, we have some giveaways, right?
Yes.
Tell us more about that, Bimal.
So all 5 books, if you go to the link, Dr. Edwin, if you can post it.
I'm going to post it under here. This is on YouTube. If you're watching YouTube, this is on YouTube. You're watching Facebook, the link will be there.
Right.
And we're going to try something new.
Okay.
We're going to discuss it at the end of the show, but let's carry on. So we're going to put the link here.
Yeah, so all 5 books, I'm giving away for anybody who wants to just get the wisdom. It has a lot of tools that you would ordinarily spend thousands to get it, and they're in the books that you can actually access them and you can write. So if you look at each one of these books.
These books will be free for 100 people that click on the link, fill out the form, and then everything is there ready for you.
Yeah, they just click
try.
the link and get it. There's no form.
There's no form. Nothing. Right?
It's
well, then you need to have the address, right? Like at least to send.
Well, they get it on Amazon.
So it's Amazon. It's a PDF basically.
Yeah,
okay, great.
Yeah, it's an Amazon, so it's an ebook, and it's a gift link on the Amazon. So you just click the link and you go to Amazon, sign in, and you get the book. So it's a true giveaway with no landing pages or
no asking for credit card, nothing. So, but come back to that. No matter what, I think your expertise and your I will say breadth and depth of wisdom, just like Warren Buffett takes like 15 minutes to Janet Yellen's job, maybe an hour. So be a little bit nicer to Janet Yellen. But with aside, or kidding all aside, basically one of the main things that people want to see is that what's the cost to be on that track with your guidance, and be part of the Pioneers Academy?
So I have built, and one of the things is, I package my knowledge into all different places, starting from free all the way to hiring one-on-one. So when you want to start with free, I have books and all of that. Then you go to tools, and I have a link where you can access tools for different reasons. And then the academy. So the academy has 3 different cohorts: the learning pioneer, the growing pioneer, and the scaling pioneer. So the learning pioneer is for starting startups, bootstrappers, solopreneurs, all of those who are looking to start their business or looking to grow. The growing pioneers who have a business, who have a little bit of team, but they're kind of stuck and they want to take it to the next level. The scaling pioneers are growing, but they have growing pains, and they need to manage the growth. They need to manage their scalability, which is a big problem in companies that are scaling, because the faster they scale, the faster they break sometimes. And it's very important to manage their scalability. So that's the Scaling Pioneers platform. And for each one of these cohorts, we have experts, trainings, weekend classes, tools, resources, software, everything brought to the table. It can run from 400 to 4,000.
Depending on your size, basically. And one of the things that you guarantee, Bimal, and not that many people does, is that if you don't recover your investment, what happens?
So we provide the resources, the structure, and the advice at no cost until you've seen that. So a 5x return is what we guarantee, a 5x ROI that you will see. And that is an action taker's guarantee. You have to, there's part of things that you have to take care of, actions that you have to do, decisions that you have to take, without which the success won't happen. So as long as you do the actions and the decisions that we are asking you to take, you will see the ROI.
Great, and that's one more thing is that I think you have some do you have any speaking engagements around this time? Anywhere you're going to have a workshop around the area?
So I do have a mastermind that's coming up. That's all.
When is the mastermind?
On Thursday at noon. And
April. What is that? Or is it
next Thursday? This coming.
Okay, so that will. I'll put the dates here so people can register. Right?
Yeah. So and it's a CEO mastermind, and then also an entrepreneur's workshop. They learn how to build a 90-day leap, and they walk away with a 90-day with the people, projects, time, and money. What are the 4 things that they need to focus on? This is the projects and projects take you to the next level. It's not just the daily task and the mundane activities that we do that will take your business to the next level. You need to think about project A, project B, project C, project 4. Like what are the 3 to 5 projects that I want to see accomplished this quarter?
Right.
And they take you to the next level.
No, that's the thing. Like entrepreneurs, you want to be a free person, you want to be a free man, a free woman, and you want to take action today. This is the day, not tomorrow. So then I think like we need to be a lot of action takers, and we ought to have to be ready to learn, have the right tools to learn, because it cannot be just a chaotic experience and magic. And then you put maybe you grab some stones and you check them, and then all of a sudden, then you receive a letter from the customer, and somebody is like, "I'm gonna build your software." Fortunately, that's not gonna happen.
Right.
But here, coming back to the EGLAVATOR, we're gonna have on April 25th a pitch event, and then we'll be here. You're welcome to bring your knowledge to and help those entrepreneurs. And we want to have an area here. We have some plans to have an area pretty soon, maybe by the summer or early fall. We're going to have a better area for the academy. So we have big plans for that. The second thing that we're going to do as well, I'm doing that as an experiment with AI. We are converting this. You will see this entire podcast converted into 3 formats: the summary format. With ChatGPT, we're going to do text to speech, speech to text, and then we're going to translate that in multiple languages as well, to be available in multiple languages. So you may see me speaking French, but it's going to be a machine saying stuff that I'm saying right now in French. So, but obviously I know a little bit of French, but I'm not a French speaker.
We all speak French, don't we?
Yeah.
Not that French.
Maybe Chinese and then Portuguese and some more languages, but we want to try those cool tools. So we're going to enhance the value of the podcast. And as we are engineers and experimenters here in the EGLAVATOR, of course, we want to do something cool. And one last thing that we will do after each podcast, we're going to generate a PDF.
Okay, cool.
And then we're going to share as well maybe a downloadable link. And then, of course, Bimal is, he didn't know this, but I think he's happy to be a guinea pig. And then we're going to give it a shot, and then you guys can possibly hear this podcast in a different format.
Who knows? There may be my future AI, who's doing this, right?
Yeah, I mean, your future AI is going to do the work for that you're doing right now. So it's just like we'll be like I don't know, in our cell when Skynet takes over the world, looking for John Connor. All right, guys. Thank you again for coming, Bimal. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Edwin. It's always a pleasure.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.